Demonstrations in different cities all call for the respect of the Palestinian people. Meanwhile, the Israeli government ordered the complete siege of the Gaza Strip, leaving the coastal enclave without food, electricity, and fuel. In Guatemala, protests demanding respect for democracy and the resignation of Attorney General Consuelo Porras continue. And in Afghanistan, search and rescue operations continue after a 6.4 magnitude earthquake hit the province of Herat on Saturday, leaving more than 2,500 people dead. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from the teleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. Citizens and social movements from several European countries took to the streets to express their support to the Palestinian cause. In Portugal, citizens took to the capital Lisbon rejecting the Israeli aggressions against the civilian population in the Gaza Strip, while in Spain, many people gathered at the Puerta del Sol in the capital city of Madrid carrying Palestinian flags and posters against the actions of the ultra-right government of Benjamin Netanyahu. While in Zurich, Switzerland and London, United Kingdom, demonstrators took to the streets to show their support for Palestine and demand an end to Tel Aviv's apartheid policies. In this context of large support in European countries with the Palestinian people, in Germany, a group of pro-Israelis attacked a demonstration in solidarity with Palestine that was being held in Duisburg. Meanwhile, in North America, residents of Montreal, Canada mobilized in support of the Palestinian cause, demanding respect for the lives of Palestinian civilians in Gaza, while in the United States, residents of New York City and social movements took to the streets to reject the military abuses of the Tel Aviv regime and Washington's armed support for the Israeli government. On Monday, China's foreign ministry stated to reject and condemn violence against civilians in Palestine and Israel.
China is deeply concerned about the lately escalation of the conflict between Palestine and Israel. Our government regrets the civilian casualties of the conflict, rejects and condemns actions harming civilians. China rejects actions arousing conflicts and undermining regional stability, and hopes to cease fire and end the war as soon as possible. The international community should play an effective role and jointly encourage the situation to cool off.
The Israeli government announced a complete siege of the Gaza Strip amid the bombardment by fighter jets of infrastructure and civilians in the coastal enclave. In a statement, the Israeli Defense Ministry issued an order to carry out a complete siege of Gaza, including cutting off electricity and blocking the supply of food and fuel. Spokesman for the occupying forces said on Monday that Israeli troops have reportedly retaken control of all border towns. However, Israel's defense minister Yoav Gallant has ordered to intensify attacks in the Gaza Strip and to eliminate all targets of the Palestinian resistance movement Hamas. In a message to the nation, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordered the deployment of military ground units to strengthen the border area with the Gaza Strip. More than 123,000 Palestinians have been displaced from their homes in the Gaza Strip after Israel launched its attacks on the coastal enclave. The United Nations Humanitarian Affairs Coordination Office confirmed that some 17,500 families were displaced as a result of the Israeli attacks. According to the UN office, some 73,000 people are being housed in schools declared as emergency shelters. These reports come after Israel announced on Monday a ban on the entry of food and fuel, as well as a total power cut in the Gaza Strip.
Dozens of rockets fell on people while they were sleeping. There was no alarm or anything like that. Then we started running through the streets. We were not prepared as we were in our beds. More than a dozen rockets. They are happy that they destroyed a whole neighborhood. They didn't just attack a mosque. They are happy to have destroyed the whole area.
To better understand what is happening in the Middle East with the progress of Operation Al-Aqsa Flood executed by the Palestinian self-defense movement Hamas against Israeli colonies and positions, let's review the context that led to the hostilities between Israel and Palestine.
After World War I, with the fall of empires such as the Russian Tsars, Austro-Hungarian and Ottoman empires, the United Kingdom and France took control of the Middle Eastern territories. Palestine came under the command of London. During the conflict and to win the support of the international Jewish community, the British government promised to establish a national homeland for the Jews, despite the fact that the region of Palestine was historically inhabited by people of Arab origin. The arrival of Jewish immigrants into that region caused tensions and clashes between the Arab Palestinians and the British authorities. Subsequently, the Nazi extermination policy in Europe increased the flow of immigrants, and at the end of World War II, Arabs and Jews claimed the right to have a state of their own. In November 1947, the United Nations voted to divide Palestine into two independent states, one Arab and one Jewish, and to create an international zone in Jerusalem under UN control. The act agreed to end British domination of the area. The measure triggered the displacement of thousands of Palestinians from their ancestral territories. The withdrawal of the British from some areas initiated the confrontation between Palestinians and Zionists. The increase of the Jewish military capacity succeeded in taking control of the territories assigned to the Palestinian state, starting an illegal occupation of those areas. Since then, Israel has perpetrated a policy of persecution and apartheid against Palestinian citizens, vetoing their religious, national and cultural expressions in addition to destroying Palestinian villages in order to build illegal settlements with Israeli settlers. The security forces have also carried out several police operations in which many Palestinian civilians have been killed.
Let's take now a short break, but remember you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you will find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. Other stories coming up, stay with us. Welcome back from the South. On Monday, Nairobi court stopped on a temporary basis the planned deployment of police officers to Haiti for a peacekeeping mission. Justice Shasha Mwita stopped the deployment until a case filed by Third Way Alliance is heard. The judge also ordered that the pleadings be served on the respondents immediately and that the respondents file responses to the petition within 3 days after service. The Third Way Alliance party leader Ekuru Aukot sued President William Ruto and his administration in a bid to block the peacekeeping mission that will see the deployment of at least 1,000 police officers to the Caribbean nation. Aukot said that Kenya's bid to lead a UN-approved force in Haiti is in gross violation of the country's constitution. In Guatemala, social and indigenous movements have been protesting for 8 days, demanding respect for democracy and the resignation of Attorney General Consuelo Porras and all authorities who tried to interfere in the electoral process. Farmers' organizations, grouped in the Farmers' Development Committee, announced that they will join the general strike to affirm their support to the protest called by the indigenous leaders of the 48 cantons of Totonicapán. In different areas of the country, road closures continue to demand the resignation of the Attorney General, as well as Prosecutor Rafael Curuchiche and Judge Freddy Orellana, who have led question raids to the Electoral Tribunal. For her part, the Attorney General described the demonstration as illegal and sent a statement to President Alejandro Giammattei to request that he use force to quell the protest. Ecuador is in the final stretch of the electoral process that seeks to define the successor of President Guillermo Lasso in the October 15th elections. Candidates Luisa González and Álvaro Noboa will end their presidential campaign this week. It is expected that both candidates will close their campaign processes in the main cities of Quito and Guayaquil. Noboa emphasized that his priority as president will be to fight crime, while González indicated that she will seek to promote the cooperation and exchange of information on criminal activities between the institutions in charge of security in order to prevent and face transnational and organized crime. Hoho Aquaponicos is one of the many ventures that have been started with great hopes in Cuba these days. Its leaders, two young men whose destinies were changed by the COVID-19 pandemic. Our correspondent Fabiola Lopez with the story as part of our special series, Cuba in the Move.
This is a road to the Barbosa suburb, west of Havana.
the road that leads to aquaponics, the project of life that two young Cubans are betting on in these difficult times the island's going through. Their names, Jose Antonio and Joel, two lawyers that the pandemic made them rethink their lives.
At the beginning, it was complicated because we come from humanities background, a total humanities background, and we started to get involved in a world where we have to apply a lot of science in living beings. Because here in this filter, three kinds of living beings coexist: plants, fish, and bacteria.
Jose Antonio and Joel's bet was aquaponics, an experimental activity still emerging in Cuba, which combines aquaculture, the production of aquatic organisms in a controlled environment, with hydroponics, the growing of plants without soil. Why did you opt for plants and fish? You two who studied law. What have you found different in that world?
We wanted a prosperous business, and the idea that came to us was this. Why? Because, well, here we have a water recycling process. Here the water is poured only once in 6 months and is recirculated through the plants, which in turn take advantage of the metabolic waste of the fish to grow and return the clean water to the fish pond.
Jojo Aquaponico is still in its infancy. The fish farming area has already been completed, and the 6,000 square meters, which used to be just weeds, 12 ponds of 20 cubic meters each are being built, several of them with 500 fish. The culture houses are in the process of investment. Zeolite substrate is used here, with metabolic waste produced by the fish, and lettuce and lemon seeds are experimentally growing in the germination area. They say that the future of agriculture could be aquaponics. Why?
Because the prices of fertilizers are currently increasing. Prices that Cuba cannot have access to all the fertilizers and pesticides needed in agriculture.
In Jojo Aquaponico, everything is recycled. The fish droppings that go from the ponds to the biofertilizer are dried and sold as organic fertilizer, which is also used in the self-consumption area where these kinds of cucumbers, in high demand by the community, are harvested.
Our passion is mainly to produce food. That is the main passion. And as a business, to be a sustainable and prosperous business over time. Our projections and dreams are quite big. This is quite a comprehensive project, and what we have in mind for the next 5 years is to become the leaders in the aquaponics market in Cuba. It is a bit ambitious, but that's how we entrepreneurs are, ambitious.
Jojo Aquaponico was one of the more than 6,000 economic companies with a booth at this summer's second local development fair in Havana, and one of the 30 that won a gold medal for superior quality for its production method.
Fabiola López, teleSUR, La Habana.
We have a second short break coming up, but before we invite you to visit our YouTube channel at teleSUR English, where you'll be able to rewatch our interviews, top stories, special broadcastings, and more. Hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. Final short break, we'll be right back. Welcome back from the south. Search and rescue operations continue in Afghanistan after a 6.4 magnitude earthquake hit the province of Herat on Saturday. On Monday at 11 a.m. local time, Afghanistan suffered a new 4.9 magnitude aftershock affecting the province of Herat, about 40 kilometers from the center of Sindajan. The aftershock came amid the progress of search and rescue operations for missing persons following the weekend's quake, which is already one of the worst catastrophes of this nature in the Central Asian country. Residents in several provinces are currently collecting donations for the victims, while countries such as Turkey, Iran, and Pakistan have pledged to deliver humanitarian aid to the affected areas. More than 2,500 people have died in Afghanistan after the 6.4 magnitude earthquake hit the province of Herat in the northwest of the country. The Afghan Ministry of Disaster Management has confirmed so far a total of 2,530 deaths, but warned that the figure could increase in the coming hours. The agency also said that at least 9,240 people were injured by the several earthquakes that hit the Herat province of Afghanistan in the northwest of the country. The organization detailed that the greatest damage was found in 13 towns of Sentajan, where more than 1,300 houses were completely destroyed. Members of the rescue corps are deployed to alleviate the effects of these telluric movements. On Monday, floods sparked by record October rainfalls hit regions of southern Myanmar, flooded roads and fields. On Sunday, authorities reported 200 millimeters of rainfalls. On Saturday in Bago, a record for October. Scientists say human beings' actions influence climate change, triggering harsher weather phenomena. The state-backed global New Light of Myanmar Daily said the nearby Bago River could exceed its danger level by almost a meter in coming days, so precautionary measures must be taken. Floods started in late July, affecting 9 of Myanmar's states, including Rakhine, Kachin, Karen, Mon, and Chin. In Cameroon, local authorities reported that at least 27 people died after a landslide caused by torrential rains on the outskirts of Yaoundé. The disaster took place on Sunday night in Bankolo, in the northwest outskirts of the capital, and was caused by the rupture of a dam that was holding back the waters of an artificial lake. The second commander of the fire department, David Petatoa, assured that the search and rescue work continues. The authorities also informed that about 30 houses were destroyed. On Tuesday, some 2.4 million voters in Liberia were called to the polls to elect the country's next president and parliament in a general election in which incumbent President George Weah seeks a second six-year term in office. Liberians also voted for lawmakers in the bicameral parliament made up of 73 members of the House of Representatives and 30 members of the Senate. 5,890 polling stations were made available in this election day. By law, the National Electoral Commission has a maximum of 15 days until October 25th to publish the final results, although the announcement may be brought forward if the canvass is completed earlier. The winner must obtain at least 50% plus 1 of the total votes to avoid a runoff. On Sunday, the United States opened the largest Hindu temple outside India located in Robbinsville Township, New Jersey. Bab Swaminarayan Akshardha was chiseled in India and brought to the U.S. by ship. This temple is destined to become a significant symbol of Hindu culture and architectural excellence in the Western world. The construction of Akshardham has been made possible by more than 12,500 volunteers from across the United States who have dedicated more than 12 years to bringing it to life. The temple is an impressive 255 feet long, 345 feet wide and 191 feet tall, and occupies an area of 183 acres. The Akshardham's design is deeply rooted in ancient Hindu scriptures and features elements of India's rich cultural heritage, such as a remarkable collection of more than 10,000 statues, intricate carvings of Indian musical instruments, and diverse dance forms.
It is probably one of the largest mandirs in the world. It is definitely the largest one outside of India. It is about 190 feet high, and it is about 2 million cubic feet of stone. Now that stone is taken from 7 different countries. It travels through ship to India where it is hand carved and it is dry assembled, so we know that it's going to work once it gets here. It's disassembled, coated, brought here, and then assembled here like a giant jigsaw puzzle.
We have come to the end of this news brief, and you can find these and many other stories on our website, telesurenglish.net. Also join us on our social medias on Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For TeleSUR English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thank you for watching.